You ever have one of those days where it just seems like nothing's going right? Yeah, that's kind of been it for me today. I did get some happy mail, and this came from Nan of Nan's Next Knots. I'll leave the link down below. Had a personal note in it. I'm not going to read it to you. However, she, as always, included a stitch marker. But I'm just going to show you the part of the stitch marker. And the jump ring has decided to jump, so it is not attached, and I don't have my tools downstairs to actually adjust that, so kind of stuck there. I have one finished item, and it is my FudgeIt make-along shawl. I did made a nice big shawl out of this, and the only thing that, oops, I've got it backwards. Helps if you hold it up the right way. And it's one of those that I had fun playing with some stitches. You know, I like to play with the stitches. The only thing that I did a little differently on it was on the edges, all the way around. I did a camel stitch, and it's been a fun shawl, so I did enjoy doing it. I made it out of, let me reach behind the camera, out of superwash merino. It was the Knit Crate Bouncy in the School Zone color, and was their bouncy worsted, so that's what I actually made that shawl out of. I was looking for a use to make something out of it, and I thought I originally would use it for something that was more related to, you know, 4th of July. And because it's got the red and the blue, and it's got grays and pinks, so I thought it was pretty close to that kind of thing. So that's what I did with it. I'm finally starting to use up some of my Knit Crate. I don't know why I don't use it more often, but I usually go to the acrylic, probably because I do a lot of charity crochets, so maybe that's why I don't use the Knit Crate yarns so much, because quite honestly, those yarns have wool, alpaca, things that you don't know whether people are allergic to, and I hate to have to give it the special extra tag, although I've done that in the past with the care instructions and all that kind of thing. But most people, when they're getting these kind of items, if they're sick or in the hospital, they don't want to have to worry about so much the care of it. So a lot of those acrylic yarns can be washed, you know, pretty high temperatures, or re-washed, you know, at a lower temperature. For nursing homes, I do use a regular washing machine, a lot of them, so, you know, they can be washed that way. I did want to discuss with you, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but Ravelry you can no longer check out as a guest. And yes, I know that I walked away from Ravelry. It's a hard word to say, you know. However, you know the other woman in my life, my husband's ex-secretary, and they're very close friends. Well, she doesn't like to purchase items online with her credit card. In fact, for things that she wants to purchase, normally what she does is she asks Thomas, my husband, to purchase them from Amazon or other websites, and then she will get the money out of the bank and hand it to him. She does the same thing with me for patterns if she finds a pattern that she likes, because she doesn't want to have to use that credit card. So many times she's found a pattern online that she wants to purchase, so she will ask me to purchase it for her, and generally most patterns I can find somewhere else, like Love crochet crafts or whatever it is we crochet. No, that's Nitpicks. Love crafts. Generally I can find it there or an Etsy store and I will purchase it, but every once in a while they're only listed on Ravelry. That's what happened with this one pattern that she wanted, and I was unable to purchase it because they have done away with their guest checkout system. So I told her, sorry, can't get it for you. You're going to have to join Ravelry and purchase it yourself, because I'm not rejoining Ravelry. No, not at all. So, I found that kind of interesting. I also wanted to discuss this thing with what happened last night in Washington, D.C. with them trying to take down the Andrew Jackson Memorial. Folks, there are ways to do that are correctly. You go, you petition the city, you petition wherever to have it removed. You do whatever is necessary to get it removed. Or moved to other place, whatever. And generally there's a board that will discuss it and determine whether it's okay or not. But the church there that had the fire, there were a lot of graffiti put on it, graffiti put on the Andrew Jackson statue. And I understand a lot of people don't like history, because quite honestly, history is pretty ugly. If you take it from the very beginning of time, there have always been slaves. It has been ugly. Even in the Bible, when it discusses slaves, there are discussions about how some slaves were beaten by their masters and even drawn and quartered, killed. And the master had every right to do that. Those things have changed over the years, thank God. To say that slavery is ended, that's not absolutely true. There are quite a few countries around the world that still follow slavery guidelines. Saudi Arabia, you can sell someone into slavery, sell your child into slavery or anything else. We also know there is sex trafficking, and that is another type of slavery, and child slavery, as well as the usual slavery that happens in China, where we buy a lot of the products that are manufactured under slave conditions. So slavery has not ended totally. However, what we call the practice of slavery has ended. But I have issues with people who are totally trying to destroy history. A lot of these statues, whether you like them or not, are actually works of arts, sculptures, whatever. You have Sean King, one of the founders of BLM, who is now talking about destroying all stained glasses in churches because some of the churches depict Jesus as white. There are a lot of churches that do not depict him as white. However, stained glass is an art in itself, especially the old type of stained glass, which was not easily done. Masters of that art worked years to learn that skill. So now he is calling for destroying those things out of churches for the Black Lives Matter organization. While I support that all Black lives matter, and yes they do, I do not support the Black Lives Matter organization. It is absolutely a Marxist group. If you go to their organization website, you will see that one of their main things is to destroy America, destroy the family unit, and put in a Marxist system. Marxist systems have never worked. In fact, millions and billions of people have died under Marxist systems because you create a class where the Marxists rule and those under them are subject to their rule and have no freedom whatsoever. So I do not support Black Lives Matter organization. And while I do agree there needs to be some reform in police departments, policing areas, there also needs to be real reform in the black community. There is an issue with the black community where they don't see that all black lives matter. And a lot of you know what I'm talking about. There is so much black on black crime that somehow the black community needs to address this and do some major reform. It's not okay. Every weekend, I follow the crime stats in Chicago, Illinois. And part of the reason I follow that is because I am a wannabe mystery writer. So I follow crime statistics, those kind of things. And it hurts my heart every weekend when you see 60 to 100 people shot up in this city, and it's black on black crime. It absolutely breaks my heart. So yes, I do believe that the black community needs to look at reforming not only their heart, but what they consider appropriate for the black community. It doesn't matter, that crime, that kind of thing should be abolished in a community. And you have the power to do that. I do not. So, as far as Sean King, he can go to Hades. Sorry, folks. But some of the things that he's proposing putting out there, they're just wrong. That is not about equality. It's about destruction. And destruction of even your past history is wrong. That's what Hitler and the Nazis did. Let's not repeat that mistake. Let's change our hearts and change how we approach things and change things. That's all I'm going to say on that. Now, the only next thing I have is I have quite a few finished items that are going up in the shop. So there is a shop update, and I will show you some of the items. This is those blocks for the those orphan blocks that I was giving, so I turned that into a tote. And that tote is a very large tote. It is like, I want to say 21 by 18.5 inches. It's 21 inches wide, 18.5 inches long, and the depth of that bag is 7.5 inches. So it's a big bag. The chicken fabric. The Americana chicken. This is a tote that has a deep blue lining and the handles. And this one measures, it's large, so it measures 19 inches by 15 inches tall. And of course it has a 6-inch depth to it, so it's a nice big tote. All of these totes, snaps can be added if you choose. And then there's a drawstring, which is a medium bag. And then another bag that is a tote bag that is medium. And those medium bags average about 15.5 inches wide and about close to 13 inches tall. And of course they have 5-inch depth to them, so you can get a lot of items in there. And the last item for the bags portion is the kitty cat tote bag. And in that tote bag there is a pocket done with the paw prints, and the pocket is divided. It's a slip pocket, so you can put your crochet hook, needles, pin, whatever, and then another spot for you to put whatever. Of course, snaps can be added to those. The other items that will be put into the shop this afternoon are the yarn cozies, and they will be sold in sets of 3. So you'll get 3 of the neon leopard if you want, 3 of the little pandas, 3 of that neon green, with one exception. There is one set that does not have a full neon green. It has 2 neon greens, and then it has this little flowered cozy with it. So mistakes happen. What can I say? You know, but that's it for that. I do have a bunch of other things cut, but I cannot continue to sew on those until I do some rearranging in the sewing room, because it is literally a sweatshop. The rearranging is needed so that I can actually have my husband put in the air conditioner, because like I said, it's a sweatshop in there. So I need to get things arranged so you can put that in this afternoon, and then I can go back to sewing more items. And there will be more, bags that are put in there. So there's that. And now let's get into some What in Tarnation. Let me get a little sip of something to drink. And here we go. Pungent package prompting post office evacuation was actually stinky fruit. Police in Germany said a post office was evacuated and some workers received medical attention due to a smell from a suspicious package that turned out to be full of a famously pungent fruit. Police said firefighters in the Bavarian town of Schweitfurt responded to the municipality's post office Saturday when workers reported a suspicious smell coming from a package. Due to the unknown content, it was initially unclear whether the suspect package posed a greater risk. Schweinfurt police said in a statement, 12 Dutch, however you pronounce it, post workers complaining of illness from the smell were treated by medical personnel at the scene, while 6 were taken to a local hospital as precaution. Investigators opened the package and discovered it was filled with durian, a Thai fruit famous for its strong odor, which has been compared to rotten food, dirty socks, and vomit. And it does stink. I have actually been in an Asian market where they had that in for the day, and it is disgusting. The fruit, prized for its appealing flavor, despite its smell, was eventually delivered to its intended recipient. And I'm sure all the postal workers were thrilled. This next story comes to us from Florida, and to me it's a heartwarming story. Husband and wife donate organs to same man, 16 years apart. A Florida woman says she feels a little closer to her late husband after donating a kidney to a man who received 2 of her spouse's organs 16 years earlier. Terry Harrington of Pensacola said she struck up a close friendship with Jeffrey Granger of Wassissa after the man received a kidney and pancreas from her husband, Brian, when he died after a workplace accident in 2004. Harrington said she did not hesitate to offer one of her kidneys to her friend when he announced in 2019 that the kidney was failing and he was going back on dialysis. Granger posted on social media that he was seeking a new kidney. Harrington responded by asking, "Did you think I was kidding?" Granger admitted he thought the offer had been a joke, but Harrington clarified she was serious as a new kidney. The pair underwent surgery at the University of Florida Health Science Hospital, and Harrington's kidney is right beside her husband's inside Granger's body. Dr. Mark Johnson, the surgeon who removed Harrington's kidney, said it's not uncommon for donated kidneys that failed to remain in place once a new kidney has been installed. And I did not know that. She said now that her kidney has been reunited with her late husband's organs, it makes her feel closer to Brian. "We are back together," she told CNN. Johnson said Granger can expect his new kidney to last for 10 to 14 years. He said he is not aware of any previous cases of a husband and wife donating organs to the same person. Now, this next story I find rather amusing because a couple of weeks ago we had stories about blow-up dolls. The Bold and Beautiful employs blow-up doll for love scenes. The head writer for perennial CBS soap opera The Bold and the Beautiful said the show will be using a blow-up doll as a stand-in for love scenes amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The show is resuming filming this month after shutting down amid the coronavirus outbreak in March. Bradley Bell, the soap's head writer and executive producer, said measures are being taken to keep the cast and crew safe while making new episodes. When we were reviewing the scripts, we started taking out all the romantic scenes, and the scripts just fell flat. Really? We put our heads together trying to figure out a way to make these scenes work without breaking the 8-foot distancing rule. 8 foot? Thought it was 6. And we brought out a doll we used years ago as a corpse. We posed it and it was very convincing. It's a great doll and we'll be using her with hair and makeup as a stand-in to match some of our leading ladies. He said the show currently has only the one blow-up doll, but producers might look into obtaining more artificial actors if the shots turn out well. We're going to see how it works. We may be investing in more dolls and male dolls. We're searching websites and combing Hollywood to see what's available. So we may now be employing a lot of dolls in future love scenes. He said the production team is also looking into other measures, including using the real-life spouses of actors as stand-ins for kissing and other intimate shots. They'll be tested for COVID so that we'll make sure it's safe and the husband and wife are comfortable kissing, and so that we may have some very hot kissing on the show. With camera tricks and editing, it will appear as though it's our leading man with his leading lady. This should be very interesting. Cows take over beer garden at a closed restaurant and a hotel. A British hotel and restaurant temporarily closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic shared video of the beer garden being overrun by some unusual premature customers, a herd of cows. The Motet House in Action Trestle, near Stafford, England, said workers preparing for the business planned reopening looked outside Tuesday and spotted a dozen cows wandering through the outside seating area. We had spaced out the tables and chairs to try our 1 or 2 meter social distancing, but they showed no respect for that. We wondered if they thought they had herd immunity. Chris Lewis, managing partner of Moat House owner Lewis Partnership, told the Express and Star newspaper. Lewis said the herd wandered over from a nearby farm. They all had a look at our outside wedding facilities, and at one stage they looked like guests at a wedding. Are you saying guests look like cows? Staff contacted the cow's owner and led them away from the business. Even the cows can't wait for us to reopen. They plan to reopen in early July. Now, I don't know how I would feel about getting this next package. Package filled with prescription narcotics delivered to California home. California woman who was expecting a shipment of ink from Amazon opened up a package left on her front porch and was shocked to find the box was filled with opiates and other prescription narcotics. The Glendale woman said she arrived home from work this week and found the box bearing the Amazon logo on her porch. The woman said she initially thought the box contained the ink she had ordered from the website, but instead she discovered bottles of oxycodone, hydrocodone, morphine, and other narcotics, accompanied by an invoice from the Drug Enforcement Administration. What? There's morphine, then there's this, there's that. This is really dangerous stuff, and there's a lot of them in there, the woman told KABC-TV. Bill Bodner, DEA special agent in charge in Los Angeles, said a preliminary investigation found the package had originated at a New York pharmacy that enlisted the services of a Texas pharmaceutical company to dispose of the drugs. I don't think they got things correct. Bonner said there was a DEA invoice in the package because the disposal process has to be approved by the federal government. Let me be clear, this package was not sent by DEA, and these drugs were never in DEA custody. Bonner speculated there was an error in the shipping process. You think? Likely they used a third-party shipper to ship this package, and somehow the shipping labels were switched at this third-party shipper, Bodner said. Amazon said an investigation had been opened into how the drugs ended up in an Amazon-labeled box. Bodner said the DEA probe into the accident is ongoing. Don't know where I got stopped. Camera stopped filming. Bodner said the DEA probe into the incident is ongoing. A Texas family experienced a similar situation earlier this week when a package left at their front door turned out to contain 32 bags of marijuana. The Harris County Sheriff's Office said the residents were not expecting a package and were baffled by the delivery. Strange things. This next one, and there's video, and it's just adorable. Doorbell camera records Amazon driver following unusual practices. Instructions. A Delaware woman's doorbell camera footage of an Amazon delivery driver complying with her son's additional instructions for delivery, shouting abracadabra and running away. Lynn Staffaria, I think that's how you pronounce that, said her 13-year-old son Jacob ordered a package from Amazon and left a message for the driver in the section of the order that asked, "Do we need additional instructions to find this address?" No. But knock on the door 3 times, and scream, "Abracadabra," as loud as you can, and run super fast away, the boy wrote. The doorbell camera footage shows the woman delivering the package to the front door of the Magnolia home, knocking 3 times, shouting the magic word, and running quickly back to her truck. "Thank you to this great Amazon delivery woman," Staffery wrote in a Facebook post. "Apparently my youngest son had put some additional instructions for delivery, and she went along with it. It made us smile, even though my son should not have done that, so I apologize for that. I do appreciate the driver looking closely enough at the instructions, though, because I know a lot of people wouldn't. And isn't that true these days?" That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I am looking forward to getting the captivating shawl tutorial filmed. And up next week, there are a few more things that will be coming up next week as well. There will be a drawing on one of the last 5 videos for a special gift for someone. It might be you, but you don't know which video I'm going to do, so you need to leave a comment on each video to be in the running for that contest. Other than that, have a great day, be safe, be well, and as always, be kind.